It is the Riot Podcast, the Tuesday, July 11th edition, and I'm sure, as we all know, that for July 11th, it's National State Fair Food Day.
Big day. Big day.
It's a wonderful day to remind you to get out, and even though it's State Fair food specific, lots of county fairs have a lot of good stuff too, some local firemen's carnivals, whatever your town puts on. It's always a fun time in the summer to just wander on over there and see what kind of trouble you can get into. What do you do when you go to the fair? What is your goal? What do you look to accomplish at the fair?
I don't really go to the fair.
You don't go to the fair?
The state fair? I've been to the state fair one time my whole life.
Yeah, the state fair. I'll say this. I think I prefer the local fairs more than the state fair because
every single time.
Typically, at many of the local fairs, you don't have to pay to get in. And I think it's a little bit of nonsense that I have to pay to get into the state fair.
And it's not like it's cheap either.
No, it's not.
It's not like it's like just a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good amount of money.
You got to pay to get in, and then you got to pay a pretty penny for everything in there. So you're not. Would you say you're more of like a food guy, a rides guy? You go to like the events. Like sometimes there's demolition derbies, there's concerts.
Everybody's got a night.
Yeah.
My go-to night back in the day was always the motorcycle
night.
Yeah, dirt bike night. Always my go-to. I would go for the dirt bike races. My favorite by far. Not even close. Anything else? I wasn't really like super thrilled about all the other stuff. Whether it was demolition derby or monster trucks. And I didn't go to my state fair. I've only been one time to the state fair. But I would go to my county fair every year.
Yeah.
Because I used to show pigs, right? I would take my pigs to the county fair, and I would go. I'd spend the whole week there, which happens, that was the first week of August, though. And so when I think about the state fair, never made appearances, but I was always at my county fairs, dirt bike night, every single year.
I'm still big. I still enjoy the demolition derby night.
Demolition Derby.
Yeah. Now, where I grew up, we were one of the first places. Our county fair was possibly the first place in the country to have combine demolition derby night.
Oh, that's pretty intense.
And when I tell you everybody in the county came out for that.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, that was a hit. And it wasn't just demolition derby because they would also decorate the combines.
Of course, you have to do that.
Yeah, of course. So that was a lot of fun. And they were the forerunners of that in Carroll County, Maryland. So pretty proud of that. But I enjoy the demolition derbies, and then I just enjoy eating. I don't really care about the other stuff. I never got too much into the games or the rides, but I just want some food and I want some cars getting smashed. Yeah,
the other one that I really like is rough trucks. We had that one at my local county fair, which is essentially they set up the pretty much a dirt bike track.
Yeah,
but it's for trucks, people's cars.
That sounds fun.
They just drive them through. My brother actually did it one time with one of our old trucks. And, they see if they can make it in the fastest time.
Yeah.
And so real exciting. They go one at a time. And so you're just trying to get the best time. And the cars end up getting destroyed. Half of them don't even make it all the way through the track. And so that's always a really fun one, too.
That sounds like a good time. You ever do the tractor pull?
The tractor pull.
That was a popular one.
Oh, I've been to all of them.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the tractor pull, the truck tractor pull, those ones are always solid too. Real loud, super loud.
Yeah.
You leave one of those nights, truck or tractor pull, and your ears are ringing.
Oh yeah. Bring
whole night long.
Bring protection for that.
Yeah.
So it is State Fair Food Day. What is your food that you go to for what draws you in like a tractor beam when you walk in and you see the midway with all the food options?
If I'm leaving with one thing and one thing only, which usually is how it goes because everything there is $10.
It's pricey.
No matter if you get a corn dog, a hot dog, whatever it is. The one thing I'm leaving with is either deep fried Oreos or deep fried Buckeyes, depending on how I feel on that day.
That is.
But those are my two go-tos.
Those are standbys. You don't get too adventurous.
Not an adventure.
I like to go wild at the fair. Like I said, it's a time to do things. It's not the time to play it safe.
Lash out.
It's time to live a little bit of a different life than you normally would live on any other day. And so that's the time to eat donut burgers because I wouldn't eat that. I wouldn't eat that today.
No.
But if the fair was going on, I might be tempted. That's one that I've had some success with. The deep fried Buckeyes are a great choice. Anything
Always.
deep fried. which also includes funnel cakes. That's hard to go to a fair and not
Get a
wind up with
funnel
one of
cake.
those.
Yeah, those are, usually me, deep fried Oreos, deep fried Buckeyes, or whenever I go, I'll get one thing. Because usually, now I used to spend the whole week up there at the county fair because yet again, I was showing pigs and whatnot. I had to be there every day. But now if I go to a fair, like a county fair, I'm going for one day for one specific night's event, probably like dirt bikes or rough trucks or something like that. And I'm getting one food. Because yet again, I'm not spending more money than is necessary.
It's a lot of self-control, not consuming too many calories. That's, again, I'm the opposite. The fair is when you let go of all of that.
Yeah, I just can't quite do it. I can't get myself to just spend the money up there on, because if I do the one food, I'm only there for a couple hours too. And so if I pick my one thing, and it's always the same thing too. It's always gonna be deep fried Oreos. If I'm hungry, it'd be like a Stromboli. Or maybe but I'm never, one thing that I love up there is the lemonades because they put all the sugar and whatnot not in there.
It just hits different.
But at the same time, I'm never going to buy one of those because it's going to be $8 for it. It's never worth it. It's never worth it.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned money because in the show today, we talk about breaking up with friends because they spend too much money and how to go about doing that. We also talk about why Prime, the drink, might be in some trouble and how to break up with people in 2023.
Ooh.
Yeah, good show today.
All right, we'll see you guys soon.
Catch you next time.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Text in, what is the ideal way to get broken up with? Clearly never a fun situation to have to deal with a breakup, but when you're receiving the news, how do you want to receive it? Because what you say to me could tell me how old you are. Different generations evidently have different ideas of what's appropriate for breaking up and what's not.
See, I think if you're breaking up with me, I think you've got it, depending on what's going on. I think if it's like they live down the street, face to face.
Not too much to ask.
Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, face to face.
No. I mean, if they live in the same town as you, I think if they live in a different state, you better be on FaceTime.
Okay, FaceTime.
Not even a phone call. I want it face to face on FaceTime.
Yeah.
Because it's still face to face, and that still counts.
What do you think about breaking up over text?
I think that's wild.
You think that would be tough?
I think that'd be crazy. If you broke me over text, what would you even say? Doesn't even make it. I don't even know what you would say to break up with me over text. It's over?
I'd say I'm not interested in pursuing things with you any further.
See, maybe if you were not dating, then you could maybe get away with that.
I have here that 20% of Gen Zers have broken up with somebody over text. And part of the reason is that for younger people, and this is myself included, you dread talking on the phone so much. You sure don't want to have to give a phone call to deliver breakup news.
Ooh.
That sounds real brutal, doesn't it? So
sounds real brutal.
Instead, people are resorting to text breakups more and more. For me, I guess I'd prefer getting broken up with over text versus on the phone.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, because I don't want to answer the phone.
I would. You're telling me,
and then
you just want to text. That's crazy.
Well, text me first, and then we can go from there.
Figure out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Like, should we meet and discuss this further? Like, what do we do?
Well, once they say it's been said, like, what are you doing? What are you meeting up with then? You're gonna go there and beg?
Like an exit interview?
You're gonna go beg?
No.
I'm not doing that.
No.
I want it face to face. If you text me and say, I don't think this is gonna work out, then I'm gonna call you and I'm gonna say, what the heck are you talking about, you lazy bum? Why did you just text me that?
They're not gonna answer you.
They better.
They're not gonna answer you.
If they better.
After they send the breakup text, they don't owe you anything, I guess.
Yes, they do.
If
that's my actual girlfriend, I'm going to ring her right away and be like, what the heck is going on?
Oh, this is why she texted you, because she didn't want to have this conversation.
And we're doing it. I'm confronting you face to face. We're doing it right now.
I think I understand the urge, if you're going to break up, to do it over text, but I don't know if it's the most healthy thing to do. Is that fair to say?
It's real unhealthy.
Yeah, it doesn't quite feel appropriate, but would I if I was in a similar situation where I was breaking up with somebody, would I really be fired up to call them or meet up in person and then have to like part ways? Absolutely not.
But that's the way to do it, though. That's showing them the respect that they deserve. If you text them, that just means I don't care about you. That's what I think it says to me.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, that means that I never cared about you. I didn't respect you in the relationship. If you're going to text me and say it's over, you're not even going to call me. You're not even going to FaceTime me. You're not even going to meet me in person. That just means that you just lack respect for me in general.
You're taking this real personally.
Of course I would.
This scenario of me breaking up with you over text.
If you broke up with me over text, I would be beside myself angry. I'd be real upset.
The stories you love with the opinions you hate. The Riot Radio U.
I saw a bunch of people freaking out on Twitter yesterday, getting real excited about the new image from the new Deadpool movie. And what they were excited about is not Deadpool himself, but Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I don't know if you saw this, Isaiah, but there's a picture going around from the movie that shows that Wolverine will don a famous yellow suit, a comic book accurate, comic book inspired yellow suit for the first time after all these years of Wolverine being depicted in movies.
It looks pretty slick.
You like it?
I think it looks good and it makes sense.
Wait, why does it make sense?
Because if he's going to be in Deadpool, Deadpool's all red.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense for him to be wearing this all yellow suit, I think. Like when you look at them side by side, they just look like they're on the same team, you know? They kind of look like Power Rangers, if I'm being honest.
I thought that was the thing that jumped to my mind as well. They look a little Power Ranger-y. And sometimes I think the Marvel movies, they don't want to be so that level of goofy looking. And so that's my concern here. I don't know. First of all, until I see the comic book style mask that Wolverine wears, which he's not wearing in this picture, that's what would really get me hyped up. Also, I just think it's weird that people are getting excited about an outfit that somebody's going to wear in a movie.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah, no, it's weird.
No, that's not weird.
It's a little weird.
No, it's not. That's hypocritical of you. You've been excited for outfits for
like when?
Remember Moon Knight? We all remember Moon Knight. What did we say? In the trailer, his outfit looked sick.
It did look cool.
Yeah, exactly.
It looked cool, but I wasn't like, oh, it looks just like the comics. I can't wait.
No,
it was like, it looks like a cool thing.
I said Moon Knight's outfit is sick. I'm excited for his show because his outfit looks so cool. That's why I was excited. And guess what? It was cool.
Yeah, well, it was cool. Fan. But see, this thing, it's inspired by the comics, but it's not as cool as the comics based off of this one picture alone that we're getting to see. I think it's odd that Wolverine has been in so many Marvel movies over the years and never once has worn what he wears in the comics. I think that doesn't make a ton of sense. So it makes sense that he finally now would be in this costume. I just don't know if it looks as cool as I hoped it would look. And secondly, here's my... is it wrong for me to also say that I'm a little disappointed that Hugh Jackman is coming back as Wolverine?
That's a little messed up. I think people are against that.
He had it was such a perfect ending. Logan, a top 3, if not number 1 superhero movie for me, and that was the end. It was supposed to be the end. It was supposed to be he's stepping away from the role. It's gonna be different.
So you're upset that there's more Hugh Jackman?
Yeah.
People don't like that.
Yeah, no. I just want things to have the endings that they deserve.
So who do you want to play Wolverine then?
Why do we have to have Wolverine?
Oh, you say no Wolverine in Marvel
Maybe
at all.
we've seen enough
People
Wolverine for a while.
That. No, for a what?
Maybe they're it's just, we can't just keep doing the same thing for 30 years.
This is Deadpool with Wolverine.
I'm sure there's going to be...
This is Wolverine in like the MCU. What do you mean?
I'm sure there's going to be a very reasonable, multiversal, multidimensional explanation for why he's there. And I was just happy with how things ended.
So just want, you know what, you're just ready for new.
Yeah, I'm just, I'll be the Debbie Downer on this one.
That's tough news. I'm against that thoroughly. I feel like Wolverine is one of the characters people have been most pumped up to have back.
I mean, I love Wolverine. He's my.
Doesn't seem like you do.
I took him first in our Choice Champions draft.
You just said you wanted his career to be over.
It was over. It ended. Why is it starting again?
You want no more Wolverine movies ever?
No, I didn't say that.
But you just said?
I said, let's give it a break. Let's do something way different. If we're doing multiverse stuff anyways,
this is way different.
Get somebody way different to do it.
This is way different. This is Hugh Jackman with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, hi there.
Worst of the riot.
Crank that up.
Radio U.
Now, how do you feel about Prime? The drink.
Oh, Prime.
Yeah, Prime.
They're pretty good.
You like them?
I like them.
You like them?
They're pretty solid.
They could be in trouble.
Oh, that's not good.
The Prime, even though as popular as it is, Prime, Logan Paul and KSI's energy drink could actually be in some hot water with the government. It's possibly facing the company behind Prime is facing a possible federal investigation. And the reason being is basically that it is too high in caffeine.
That doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean it doesn't make any sense?
Too high in caffeine?
Yeah. Is there such a thing?
Well, I'm just thinking about all the other places, all the other kinds of energy drinks that are just as high. Because I know exactly how many milligrams are in that of caffeine, which is 200.
Well, it's a combo of it's high in caffeine and the way it's marketed, particularly to children.
Don't play me with this.
We have some senators here that are concerned that because it's influencing children that are too young to be consuming so much caffeine.
I'm not with that.
I mean, well, think about it, though. Think about it. If you were like a 10-year-old and you saw a 10-year-old drinking a bunch of coffee, you'd be like, slow it down, kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good for you.
Well, coffee doesn't seem like a kid's drink.
It doesn't. But what makes Prime seem like a kid's drink?
I have no idea.
The packaging, the marketing, but it's still got some of the same, in fact, more problems with it, health-wise, possibly than coffee does for children.
But how are they just going to strike? This won't go. How are they going to just strike down on Prime for this, though?
Maybe it won't just stop there.
I mean, are they going to do Bang next?
You think Bang is for kids?
I mean, Bang has more caffeine in it.
Yeah.
And I think it's the packaging is just as exciting.
I mean, they
Prime
do have
says.
like flavors that are like cotton candy.
Blue Raz.
No adult should be drinking something that's flavored cotton candy. Yeah, grow up.
And yet again, that has 300, and Rain as well, if you think about that. It's very similar to Bang. Also 300 milligrams, which is more. Rockstar. I mean, come on. 300 milligrams Rockstar as well. I think about some of these other energy drink brands. They seem just as marketed to kids. If you ask me who Prime's marketed to, I would just say, I wouldn't even know. I would say anyone, I guess. But maybe if you want to do kids, I guess you could make an argument. But I feel like you could make that argument for so many others.
Here's something that they point out. One of the folks who is asking the FDA to investigate Prime, they're saying that it's marketed in a way that parents believe they're purchasing juice for their kids, when in fact, and this is a quote, they wind up with a cauldron of caffeine.
A cauldron of caffeine.
Now that's fighting words right there.
That is.
That's strong talk. They also say that apparently Prime Energy has an equivalent of a caffeine of 6 Coca-Colas or nearly 2 Red Bulls. That's a lot.
2 Red Bulls.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And if you had a kid drinking 6 Coca-Colas, again, my parents would have told me, they'd say, you can't have 6 Coca-Colas. What are you, out of your mind?
That's fair.
You're tough enough to deal with at 12 years old without all this caffeine in you, and now you're gonna go with 6 Coca-Colas. Of course they'd say no. But parents unsuspectingly buying this Prime for their kids, and apparently it's too much, according to some in the government.
See, I just think that when you look at its competitors, it's hard to just strike them down. Like you think about even just like the Mountain Dew Rise, right? We're all familiar with that. 180 milligrams of caffeine, 20 less than Prime has.
Yeah.
And that's considered an energy drink, but it says Mountain Dew right across the front of it. Who is Mountain Dew targeted towards? Children?
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I think that's tenuous.
You don't think Mountain Dew Rise? I mean, at the same time, Bang, Rain, any of those, I think they're all the same thing.
So you want to bring down the whole energy drink industry?
No, I just don't think you can't take down any of them, and I just don't think you can.
They can do whatever they want.
Well, they're all so similar.
Well, make up your mind. Can they do whatever they want, or do we have to bring them all down?
No, I said they all can stay how they are.
Stay how they are.
If you're a parent and you aren't looking at the nutrition label, it's your own fault. Be an adult. Watch what your kid drinks anyway.
You're asking a lot of parents.
I mean, is the next thing going to be, oh, I didn't know it was Mountain Dew Hard. I had no idea I was giving my kid alcohol. I mean, come on. Can we act like adults here?
Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
You ever had to break up with a friend because they were too wealthy?
No.
No?
Haven't actually done that.
You haven't had a rich friend that you couldn't keep up with?
That I was like, actually, we can't be friends.
Yeah.
Because you just got too much money.
Uh-huh. That's not happened to you?
Not yet, no. That has not happened to me.
I have here that for about a third of people, that's something that they've gone through, where they've had to cut ties with a certain friend because that friend, maybe it's not necessarily that they're rich, but the friend leads them to overspend. The friend's out there hot dogging every time you guys go out. It becomes a little too much, and you have to spend to keep up with them, and you just can't afford it. And so that's the breaks right there.
Yeah, it seems like something that could happen. I could see that happening. Just different lifestyles. And so if your friend is always wanting to go out and do these expensive things, or maybe they aren't supposed to be expensive things, and then by the time that you get there, they make them more expensive than they have to be. I could see that being an issue if you're not on the same monetary level.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, it might just come down to responsibility, because you and your friend, you could be making the same amount of money, but if they are just a little more willing to rack up the debt to break out the old credit card instead of being responsible, then all of a sudden you have a bunch of expensive night outs. You want to be a little more responsible with things, and so you have no choice but to call it quits with them.
See, I think too, I don't think you have to end the friendship.
Well, okay, let's play this out then. What do? We hang out all the time. I'm always like, no, let's go to this restaurant and overspend, and then we'll go out and do this other thing afterwards. And, it just goes from there. And this is every time, and you can't keep up. You don't want to be so irresponsible with your money. What do we do?
I think that you just need to just lay it out with them and just not hang out as much. Just because you're not hanging out as much doesn't mean you're cutting them off as friends. You can still invite them to the things that you can do. Whether it's, yet again, you don't only hang out with people at times when you have to spend money.
Yeah, no,
if you have a
shouldn't.
cookout at your house or something, you can still invite that friend over if they want to come to that. But at the same time, when they're inviting you to go do all of these things that might end up being expensive nights for you, you just skip out on those events. And on the other times, you can invite them.
I think you run the risk.
Your relationship might not be as close, but at the same time, you're not completely cutting them off.
I think you run the risk of not officially breaking things off with them, because who does that with a friend anyways? You don't just say, hey, I'm not hanging out with you.
It's over.
It's not working out.
Me and you together, not going to happen.
Yeah, I think that that's just not how friendships usually wind up working. But what I think winds up happening the way you play things out is you kind of dial back on the stuff that's their idea, and then all of a sudden it feels like you're only hanging out on your terms, maybe to them, and so then they don't want to hang out on your terms, and so it just kind of, you drift apart.
That's how it might go. It could go that way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's no reason to completely cut them off just because they like to go out and spend a lot of money. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's what their thing is, that's what their thing is.
Would you ever just sit them down, have a conversation, say, hey, look, I can't keep up with you. Listen, I'm poorer than you.
Ooh, that's a tough conversation to have.
And no matter what you say, it's going to sound like I'm poorer than you. But you can say, I'm just trying to be a little more responsible, and they're going to be
You can't say that.
You're poorer than me.
I definitely can't say I'm trying to be more responsible. That would be messed up.
Yeah. Then you just sound like you're no fun.
And then it sounds like you're like kind of taking like a stab at them. You can't be doing that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're over there flaunting it, hot dog, and take it easy, big dog.
I just care more about money than you do, I guess. I don't know. I just wouldn't spend it on silly things like that.
Wasn't that a great Riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.